My sister fixed her skin with detox patches. I tried it and my brain fog is gone. Seriously, here's what happened.
Your wife is under arrest for parking in your own driveway. The HOA president screamed through a megaphone at 6 a.m. Barbara Johnson in her blinding pink blazer was declaring war because my fire touched our grass line. Our grass, our driveway, our property. After a 20-hour shift at work, Elena had committed the unforgivable crime of parking slightly crooked at her own home. This power-drunk Karen was about to handcuff my exhausted wife for absolutely nothing. What Barbara didn't know, see, what would destroy her entire world was exactly what she was trying to correct. Comment below where you're watching. The moving truck had barely pulled away from our new home when I first laid eyes on the woman who would turn our American dream into a nightmare. It was 7 in the morning, and there she stood at our front door, wearing a blazer so bright pink it could direct traffic, clutching a clipboard thick as a phone book. Her smile was the kind you see on sharks in nature documentaries, all teeth and no warmth. "Welcome to Harmony Heights," she announced, her voice carrying the authority of someone who practiced this speech in front of a mirror. "I'm Barbara Johnson, the HOA president, and I'm here to collect your first month's fee, $500 plus a $200 new resident assessment for, shall we say, administrative purposes." I nearly choked on my coffee, the bitter taste suddenly matching my mood. $700 before we'd even unpacked our toothbrushes. Elena, my wife, appeared behind me, her dark hair still messy from sleep, but her eyes sharp as always. She'd worked a late shift the night before, something she vaguely described as office work, when Barbara asked what brought us to the neighborhood. I watched Barbara's eyes narrow slightly, sizing us up like a predator evaluating prey. "I'll need that payment today," Barbara continued, tapping her pen against the clipboard with military precision. "Cash or check? Though cash is preferred for the assessment fee, helps with the bookkeeping, you understand." The way she said bookkeeping made my skin crawl like there was a joke I wasn't in on yet. As Barbara lectured us about the 147 rules of Harmony Heights, each one more ridiculous than the last, I noticed Elena had slipped away. Through the window, I could see her installing her new security camera, her movements quick and practiced. In under 5 minutes, she had it mounted and running the kind of efficiency that comes from experience, not YouTube tutorials. "Since when do you know electrical work?" I asked her later, after Barbara had finally left with our check. Elena just shrugged, that mysterious smile playing at her lips. "YouTube University, honey," she said, but something in her eyes told a different story. Outside, Barbara had stopped to harass our elderly neighbor Raymond, who was watering his petunias with shaking hands. "Still here, Raymond?" Barbara's voice dripped with venom, a complete transformation from the fake sweetness she'd shown us. "I thought you'd learned your lesson after what happened to Mrs. Thompson." Raymond's hands trembled on, sending water spraying in wild arcs across his lawn. "One day, Barbara," he muttered, just loud enough for us to hear through our open window. "One day, someone will stop you." Barbara's laugh was sharp as broken glass. "What was that, Raymond speaking to your flowers again? Maybe you need to be evaluated for mental competency. Wouldn't want another incident like poor Mr. Miller." The old man's face went white as paper. He turned off his hose, retreating into his house without another word. Barbara watched him go with satisfaction, then turned back to our house, catching me watching from the window. She waved with that sharp smile, and I felt a chill run down my spine. 3 hours later, my phone began pinging like a... Instead of coins, I was winning violations. Violation notice number 1, trash bin positioned at 15-degree angle from approved perpendicular alignment. Fine $25. The email included a time-stamped photo taken from Barbara's window, showing our garbage can slightly askew. Violation notice number 2, oil stain on driveway exceeds 2-inch diameter maximum. Fine $50. Another photo, this one zoomed in on a spot I hadn't even noticed. Violation notice number 3, window blinds are incorrect shade of white, creating aesthetic disruption. Fine $75. By the time I'd scrolled through all 4 emails, we'd racked up $150 in fines, and we hadn't even been in the house for 24 hours. Each photo was taken from Barbara's front window, which I now realized had a perfect view of our entire property. I showed Elena the emails, watching her jaw tighten with each ridiculous fine. She stared across at Barbara's house, where a silhouette stood behind sheer curtains, binoculars glinting in the afternoon.
Shit!
Marcus, Elena whispered, her voice carrying an edge I'd rarely heard. What kind of person documents our every move like this? As if in answer, the curtain snapped